Seems today no broadcast can survive with just audio alone. GJRB on Spreaker will always be there, but now GJRB has gone visual with the GJRB YouTube channel. Subscribe today and see live streaming of the Gary Russen program, Way Out There, Sports Page, and radio and television classics. Also, many other specials along the way too, including a video version of News and Comment and a video message from Pastor Ron Johnston from Christian Community Fellowship Church. Yes, GJRB is now visual. Subscribe to the GJRB YouTube channel. It's free. Just log on to YouTube and type in Gary Russen in the search engine. Coming soon. Watch or listen to GJRB on the new GJRB website, GJRB TV, on YouTube, on your computer, on your TV. Subscribe today. Recently, we lost Robin Williams, an outstanding comedian who suffered a great deal. Let's make sure that suicides like this won't happen to anyone close to us. If you know anybody who may be depressed and are suffering like Robin Williams did, get them help. Call this number, 1-800-273-8255. That is the number of the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. The call is free and confidential and will be answered by a trained counselor at a local crisis center. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline can help. After 1 year, the wait is over. Now join Pastor Ron Johnston and a panel of men and women to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy. In this world of chaos and upheaval, this is the program that puts it all into perspective. How will we survive? God only knows. So trust Him and listen to the last 7 days. Uploaded as a podcast or live every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Hey, all right, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.
This is Michael J. Martin, and you're listening to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online.
There, you got that right as we wrap up the Gary Russen program here on GJRB. We're finishing up this half hour of the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online, so be aware of that. Close up our program for today, and then we're going to be setting up next week. By the way, I will not be on the air until next week. As I mentioned earlier, no Way Out There, no radio, and no swing time favorites. Those are all getting pushed over to next week or next month, and we're going to give you the schedule for the new Wide Open July and August here on GJRB Online. Now will be just some of the stuff, just kind of going over some of the programs we're going to be having on those days, in those months, and kind of a TBA schedule, so to speak. So I will be, producing those programs and then putting them into a scheduled form. I have some of those. It'll be open schedule, and we'll start working on that, and I'll be producing that. And for a GJRB schedule update podcast video, which will be coming up in next week. I'll be producing that one. So, amongst other things. And the Gary Russen program again next week. So we're going to be on next Wednesday afternoon right here on GJRB Online, 2 o'clock Central. And we'll talk more on this program. So tune in for that, and we'll have a really good prep show lined up for you on that one. Watching a lot of stories going on and stuff. And so we're going to do that. But right now I'm going to change my scroll to social media now over to Twitter. And we're going to go there now and see what's going on the Twitter end of things. And then we'll visit briefly Google Plus as well. And so I'm in there right now. Anybody who might be listening to us on Twitter, great. You can check me there. I am the Radio Maniac. You can join me there. I'm down the page now to that Daily Mail online. Prosecutor's story of Syrian's gang raping girl in a knife point is false. This is a story that I don't know where this is posted, but apparently they're saying that story is false. This is under Daily Mail Online. They posted this story stating, this is on a Twitter site, that two young boys from Iraq and Sudan were charged with sexually assaulting a mentally ill Idaho girl, 5 years old, who locals call falsely claimed, and was gang raped by Syrian refugees. And they said these rumors spread. Sensational story consumes small Idaho town. Mentally disabled 5-year-old girl gang raped at knife point by 3 boys, all Syrian refugees, and their fathers high-fived. The problem is, it's not true. Authorities are now trying to distinguish the flames of this story and saying that it's being ignited by residents who want to incite anti-refugee sentiment and keep the Syrians from resettling in Twin Falls. This is the county prosecutor Grant Loeves revealed this on Monday, quoting that there are no Syrians involved, and there was no knife involved, and there was no gang rape. He stated that in dailymail.com that there was an alleged sexual assault on that day, June 2nd, at the Fawn Brook Apartments, a low-income housing development there. 2 juveniles ages 10 and 14 have been charged and are being held in juvenile detention after being arrested after authorities obtained a video footage from a cell phone. There are no Syrian refugees. They are not Syrian refugees, and they moved to the U.S. fewer than 2 years ago from Sudan and Iraq. Refugee status has not been immediately known, according to the Idaho Statesman. So, what they're doing here is making up these false stories to make them look bad. It's one of those things. It's a making up false stories to create a havoc, to create. It's like what they did there was what would be called a. If they were sued, it would be a false statement, false character assassination kind of thing. In other words, so they ruined the boy's reputation apparently. According to KMVT, Loebs told them that there is no cover-up at all, and there is no motive to cover up. And if they were Syrians, they would tell you they were Syrians, and that they were prosecuting 3 Syrian refugees. So, again, like I said before, it seems like they're making these false stories to make them look bad in the eyes of the residents, so they would not be allowed to move in. See? Interesting, isn't it? It's all part of the thing, like I've said before, that, try to ruin. Now, not all Syrian refugees are bad. Not all. Probably not all Iraqs are bad. Not all, are bad. It's just that the Muslims are looked at because of this whole situation, and 2000, the attack on America, and ever since then, it's been, looking pretty bad for them if they're innocent. Automatically one does it, they all do it. Sentiment. That's all it's about. Yeah, anti-Semitic. All right, you got the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online, and if you like what you want to have interesting input on what we're talking about, even when I go off the air, you can still listen to this and make your comments, and I'll check it every once in a while here on GJRB and see if there's any comments. Usually people listen gradually to the podcast throughout the evening, and they usually leave me comments. But other than that, I don't find any comments when I do that. I don't find no comments on my site. I don't even find any results of anybody even listening to this program. But I keep doing it because, like radio, everybody may be listening to the same station, but that radio station continues broadcasting, doesn't it? So that's the same here. I keep broadcasting even if no one listens to me. Okay? So, whatever the case. All right, now it's time for Gary J's Sports Page. We're going to do that real quick here while we close out. We're going to kind of squeeze in all these segments. And I'm going to sit down and start planning on my next week's show, inviting some guests even, so you never know. This program is always up for change. So next week, another edition of the Gary Russen program, news and comment in the second hour, and you never know what's going to happen on the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. I'm going to go to the sports now and do a quick sports page. I want to get my sports page theme out here. Okay. All right, let's see. Drive. So let's get that sports page in there, and let's see what's going on. Like I said before, I want to congratulate once again the Cleveland Cavaliers for winning the NBA championship. The Cleveland Cavaliers winning in the NBA championship. Everybody a lot of people gathering in the in there. So we're going to talk about that. Okay. Let's see. All right, I'm up there. Where is that? I thought they'd be here. Cleveland Cavaliers winning the NBA. Here it is. A story coming out of this. They won Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals in Champaign. The Cleveland Cavaliers and Richard Jefferson. And congratulations to all people listening in the Cleveland area, as your team has won the NBA, and fabulous. Forward Richard Jefferson told everyone who would listen at that it was going on at the top, retiring after winning the NBA title in his 15th-year pro career almost instantly. And one of the player, was it LeBron? Who was it? LeBron. One of them was not happy because I don't know if it's in here. What is it here? Let's see, Richard Jefferson. It's all about Richard Jefferson. I'm looking for the Cavs former player. What is that? LeBron James? Is it LeBron James? Anyway, I heard earlier today that he is kind of saddened that he did not go back to the Cavaliers, and he didn't win the NBA championship with the Cavaliers. And I was listening to that earlier today. He was not too happy but he's happy for the Cavaliers. But he's kind of disappointed that he didn't win with the Cavaliers. And I'll talk about that later on. But right now, let's take a look at some scores. I'm going to do that real quick here. Let's go down the line here and see if we get some scores. The Cubs not doing too good. What happened there? They got beat up by the Cardinals twice now. Don't know what happened there, but the Cubs got beaten by the Cardinals twice now. I don't know what's going on there. A sad situation sitting there. The Chicago Cubs lost to the Cavaliers. Or no, they lost to them. They lost to they lost over to the Cleveland. Here they are. The Cleveland. Here we go. I'm gonna give you the recording here. Hang on a second while I pull that back and give you the recording here. Hang on a second while I get that up. Wait a minute here. Let's see if we get that. Start over again. I'll get the audio here. Let's see. Here we go. All right. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. First inning. Let's see here. They got no vocal on there. I could have done something with this, but this is from yesterday's game. The Cubs lost yesterday. Carpenter, Holiday, both homered as the Cardinals beat the Cubs 4-3 yesterday. Matt Carpenter, the Cardinals won their second straight game after being 0-5 their first winless Homestead game for at least two series since 1983. Carpenter and Holiday connected against Jason Hamill 7-3 in the 3-run third inning and made in 4-1. Wainwright 6-4. He pitched in the seventh and improved to a 10-1 in 21 games and 16 starts at Wrigley Field. Cardinals put themselves in the position to sweep their first trip to Chicago since last year's NL Division Series, though won't be easy with the Major League leading Cubs sending National League Cy Young winner Jake, I guess was that Jake Arrieta? Let me see if I go down there. The Cy Young winner, go down a ways. Cy Young winner, Jake Arrieta to the mound. So Mike Metheny, who quoted as saying that we're truly buying into this idea that we've got to look like we kind of a team that we should be. We should do that, and when we do that, we'll be throwing ourselves in the ring. The Cubs lost that yesterday, unfortunately, and what a shame. They were doing pretty good there for a while. Although, I gotta see, I'm gonna go into the standings real quick here. Despite the couple of losses here, in the National League Central, the Cubs are still on top with a 47 wins, 23 losses. Still on top. They're 25-11 at home, 22-12 away, and despite all that, the Cubs are still on top. So I'm not going to worry about a couple of losses. Let's see what happens. The Cubs lost a couple of times, but they're still doing the top of the National League Central. Here's some of the other action going on. Let's see, we got that going on. We have 10 minutes left, so we can do this. Some action going on right now. In the bottom of the ninth inning, right now, it is Milwaukee over Oakland, 4-2. They are in the bottom of the ninth, just about finishing that game. Arizona is getting beaten out by Toronto. They're in the top of the 7th with a man on second. Games playing tonight. San Diego will be playing Baltimore. San Francisco playing Pittsburgh. Tampa Bay will be playing Cleveland. Chicago White Sox against Baltimore. Seattle against Detroit. Cincinnati against Texas. Philadelphia playing Minnesota. Washington against the Dodgers. And the LA Angels are going to play Houston. St. Louis Cardinals. Here's some of the action that has happened today. These are finals. Houston beat the Angels 3-2. St. Louis over the Cubs 7-2. That's a final. What is the matter with those guys? And 9-8 Milwaukee over Colorado. 4-3 Mets over Kansas City. And 3-0 Miami beating Atlanta. So that's what's going on right now. And that's what some of the scores are. And let's see, American League. And what is that, a couple weeks from now? When is that? I heard the date the other night, and I can't remember what it was. But the All-Star game is coming up. And I know some of the players already for the Cubs are playing the All-Star game. I think Chris Bryant, they're putting him in. And who else was it? Chris Bryant, Jake Arrieta, I think, is going to be in there. I'm not sure. But I know for sure that Chris Bryant's going in, and so is some of the other ones. So that's it for Sports Page on the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online as we wind down our program for today and close out the show. So this last 10 minutes or so, I'm going a little less than that. I'm going to kind of wrap up by talking about our programming one more time. Don't forget that tomorrow I'll be doing the GJRB Schedule Update podcast. I'll be recording that and putting it on this weekend so that you get an update on our program schedule. And I'll be doing that and getting that ready, and I'll be having that up for the weekend. And let's see, next week, no Gary Russen. The next week, here's the schedule. There will be no Tuesday broadcast at all. The Rock Worship Show will be added in our July schedule. So just to let you know about that, we're going to change that around. Also in our July schedule, Gary J in the afternoon. Also Gary J's Blues House, Bluegrass Jubilee, and those are all in the July schedule. And I'm going to try to put in one more Gary J in the afternoon and add there, because we're going to be doing more music shows as well. Gary Russen program next Wednesday, 2 o'clock Central, right here on GJRB. So tune in for that. We'll have another edition for you. And I'll have some more stuff. I'll have better news and comment, better stuff, better prep, and we're going to be working on our next program. So you're going to want to tune in for that. That'll be coming up next week, next Wednesday, for another Russen program. This will be the last one for a while on a Wednesday, and then I'll be changing the programming around a little bit. And as we head into the 4th of July weekend, because I'm going to be getting ready for our radio, TV, and movie classics program. So I'm looking forward to doing that one. And so beware of that one. Radio, TV, and movie classics coming up. So that's going to be a good show. Got classic. I got some more integrated commercials from. I'm digging a few more up too. I found some from Petticoat Junction as well. Some integrated commercials. I got a few more coming up from the Beverly Hillbillies. I have a whole bunch more. Oh, by the way, if you people have Hulu and you have Roku, watch Beverly Hillbillies on there, because they have all the sponsors billboard on there. The ones I was talking about on a previous show of Radio and TV Classics, they have them on there. Those are the sponsors for the Beverly Hillbillies that Flat and Scruggs added to that neat little billboard for the Beverly Hillbillies. So those are on there. Watch that. It's fabulous. And at the end of the show, you'll see these sponsors on the... Remember they used to do that? Sponsors at the bottom of the screen during the ending credits. That's on there too, so it's fabulous. Check that out. Anyway, Gary J's Radio and Television Classics, that's coming up on the 1st. And then on the 2nd, we're going to be doing the Radioland, Old Time Radio. Got a bunch of classics programs for you, and they're going to love to listen to, so tune in for those. And let's see, what else we got coming up on that weekend? Oh, yeah, Crooners. That'll wrap up the 4th of July holiday nostalgia program, and if that turns out pretty darn good, be doing a couple more of those nostalgia programs. So we'll have nostalgia weekends here on GJRB, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so I think that's going to be wrapping up our Gary Russen program for today here on GJRB Online. Like I said, back next week for another edition of the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online, and we'll have another well-put-together show, better well-put-together show than pretty much today's, but that wasn't bad. We'll do more stuff, and I'll be adding this to the GJRB cell, so whenever a phone call comes in, you'll hear that, our theme, or for way out there will be the other theme, or sports page theme, so that whenever you call the program, it'll be the program you're calling in. You'll hear the theme. You'll know where calls coming in. So check that out. It'll be pretty cool. All right, that's going to do it for the Gary Russen program today. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'll be back again next week for another edition of the Gary Russen program. Keep in mind, no radio, no way out there, and no weekend programs this weekend, as we have a full Spreaker public site, and I've got an obligation for the weekend. So no broadcast this weekend, but next weekend we'll be back on the air for our nostalgia weekend. That's it for now. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your week. I'm Gary J. Russen. Thanks for listening to the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online. Have a great night, everyone.
Whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, even bowling, it's covered on Gary J's Sports page. I'll talk about what's going on in the world of sports all over the USA. We'll read you interesting articles about the players, and even keep up with the scores of the games going on live. I'll even have guests from time to time, and just talk sports. Better than any newspaper page, it comes alive. Gary J's Sports page, alternating Saturdays at 2 o'clock Central on GJRB Online. Seems today no broadcast can survive with just audio alone. GJRB on Spreaker will always be there, but now GJRB has gone visual with the GJRB YouTube channel. Subscribe today and see live streaming of the Gary Russen program, Way Out There, Sports page, and radio and television classics. Also, many other specials along the way too, including a video version of News and Comment and a video message from Pastor Ron Johnston from Christian Community Fellowship Church. Yes, GJRB is now visual. Subscribe to the GJRB YouTube channel. It's free. Just log on to YouTube and type in Gary Russen in the search engine. Coming soon. Watch or listen to GJRB on the new GJRB website, GJRB TV, on YouTube, on your computer, on your TV. Subscribe today.
This is GJR Broadcasting.